I am going to be making a lot of different things. These were all little projects that I was doing this winter in 2024. A lot of them are like American Girl earrings, but I do have a few other tidbits, like a tutu I made for one of my dolls and a replacement mermaid tail. These are sometimes clips that I would have just inserted into Dolly Diaries, which is my vlog series, but I figured I would just wait until I had enough footage and make this into its own video. So if you're new here or you're not familiar with this series, Dolly Designs is where I just do different doll arts and crafts. Sometimes it's jewelry, sometimes it's stands I make or backdrops I make, whatever things that I'm currently doing. I really love making stuff for my dolls. So if you like this video, check out my Dolly Designs playlist. And I also have on my Flickr all of the different earrings and stands and hair accessories and whatnot I've made for my dolls over the years. I have albums for those if you want to see. And without further ado, let's get into it. So here I'm making earrings to go with my McKenna from the World by Us line, her meat dress. I used butterflies. These polymer clay butterflies are from Amazon. I got them for free through the Vine program in 2023 with like a bunch of other assorted shapes. And the colors were a really beautiful match to the ombre on her skirt, and she has butterflies on her t-shirt and also butterfly clips. So it was perfect. So what I did is I wanted to make a chain out of them and use black seed beads to incorporate the black from her t-shirt. So I made a chain link by doing a seed bead, a butterfly, a seed bead, and then I would make a loop, and then I would connect the loops to each other to make a chain link. And obviously the butterfly on the bottom didn't have a loop on the bottom because it was the end, so I used a head pin there. I hope that makes sense. I mean, you'll see at the end what it looks like. This was a relatively easy process. Part of why I also use seed beads a lot of the time in my designs is because it helps hold the charms in place, because a lot of the times the charms I use are actually made for bracelets, so meant to be strung, so the holes are kind of wide and they might slide over the head pin. It's not a problem with eye pins, but like at the base that would have obviously been an issue because the bottom butterfly would have fallen right off. Here we have the gorgeous McKenna. She is wearing these earrings. It was obvious to go with a butterfly theme because she has butterfly clips and a butterfly on her adorable shirt. And I happen to have these polymer clay ones that were from an Amazon pack that I got like for free through Amazon Vine. And the colors are like a match to the ombre on her skirt. So I followed that ombre but kind of did a reverse. So it's purple, a pinkish purple, and then a pink. And then I added black small seed beads, A, to ensure that the butterfly stayed on the head pin, and B, because it ties in the black accent of her shirt. So I also have Yvette from the World by Us line, and I decided to make her earrings coordinate with McKenna's because they're technically from the same collection. So I utilized an orange butterfly from the same Amazon Vine pack, and then these little polymer clay flowers from the kids section at Michael's. I got them with a gift card a long time ago, and I connected them with jump rings to make a series of like a chain link using the flowers as part of the links. It's difficult to figure out how to do it, but I wanted them to be spread out, not bundled together in clusters, and it came out really nice. And here's what they look like linked together. So these are the earrings I made for Yvette. They correspond with McKenna's, which is nice because I got them both for Christmas, and they're also from the same World by Us collection, and I like that their outfits naturally complement each other, so the earrings should too. So I used another one of those butterfly charms. However, this one is orange and it has some teal accents that pick up on the flowers of the dress, and of course it was natural to use these polymer clay flowers because her dress is bedecked in them and her boots are. So it was just like, what else would possibly be more perfect? This is the front view. I just thought I'd show you a better view without her curls being completely in the way, but I think it looks really nice. So my sister had gotten me a Janie and Jack Separates dress and shoes for Christmas to go with Yvette and McKenna, and I wanted to make earrings that would match the other separates if one day I got them too, and these are very like festive and holiday themed. So I decided to first use a large flower that I got from a kid's tub of beads at Walmart. You see, that was the first thing I did, and I can only use this by attaching a jump ring because it's made for bracelets and necklaces. And then I really liked these pearl teardrop beads that I had, also from the same kit, and I just added some red seed beads to tie in the red color of the print of the dress more, linked that to the jump ring of the flower, so there was a flower and a pearl. And then these are for the Janie and Jack dress that sold separately. I have a pair of the shoes, so it's kind of like an outfit. I did like a pearl and then this flower thing. This actually came from like a kid's bead kit. If you watched my Dolly Designs Australian edition, when I got my Kira doll, I got 2 large $5 tubs of beads at Walmart, and they were in the kids section, and that's where those came from, and they come in really handy. And it kind of adds a holiday classiness. And from the front here, they still look very cute. You can see them in Yvette's curls. For the holiday wishlist pajamas, I didn't have any charms that were an exact match to the print of the pajamas, so I just used these angels that I got at Walmart in the 98-cent section, and then I have these polymer clay type discs from Amazon Vine that I linked with jump rings to form a chain. And I did the same colors, the holiday colors, red, green, and white, making sure to put them in the same order. You want to make sure your earrings are symmetrical, of course, because sometimes, oopsie, I made the pair of earrings and I realized I flipped it on the second one. So I put them in order, and basically one charm will have like 2 jump rings connecting through it in order to make the chain. And then I always put a tiny jump ring at the top for the American Girl earring posts to fit through, so they can wear factory American Girl earrings. And these are the earrings that I made to go with holiday wishlist pajamas. They are white, green, and red discs, because that picks up on the Christmas colors of her outfit. And I also thought the little angels were festive. I don't really have many other holiday type charms, and what else was I really going to use them for? And angels are very Christmassy, and I think she looks cute as a button. So I bought an Ariel doll at the thrift store who was missing her tail, and in the past I've made replacement fins using scrap pieces of fabric, and it worked out really well. And poor Ariel would have just probably ended up in the garbage, because that's clearly why she was donated. So I had this fleece. It was actually leftover scraps from when I made a chinchilla cage cover. It was clean. This was like brand new fleece, but this was one of the cuttings. So I made a pattern, as you could see in the beginning. I had Ariel for reference and then did like a fin shape bigger than I wanted the finished product to be, obviously for seam allowance. And then I cut them out, and you're going to see in a minute I'll be sewing them together. And I did make sure, like, when I cut them, that they matched relatively well, because sometimes when I cut things it's a little off. I'm really not very great at sewing, and I had to use pen on this fabric because the pencil wasn't showing up, because it's fleece, because that's what you use for guinea pigs and chinchillas. And that was fine, because this was the like not good side that you flip inside out after, so it'll be on the inside, not the outside. And obviously I used a really sharp pair of fabric scissors here to cut them out. And so began the tedious hand sewing process, which I am not good at hand sewing, nor with the machine. But because this was so tiny and such a weird shape, I wasn't even going to attempt to do it with the machine. So it was fine. I just was listening to something on my headphones while I did this. And I made sure to try to keep like an even space along the edges for like an even seam allowance and trying to retain the shape of the fins. I do wish I had made the pattern a little bit larger just so that the fins would have been a tad bigger, bit bigger at the end, but I think they turned out okay anyways. And I used this cute little purple thread. So after I sewed the fins, I made one ahead of time to see that it looked right and proportionate to Ariel. That's why she was constantly there for size reference. And I used a pen to help me flip the fin inside out because it did have like some delicate points and whatnot that were hard to get out with just my hand, and I wanted to really retain the shape of the fin. It definitely looked a lot better once I stuffed it. So I didn't have any actual stuffing, so something I do sometimes is I'll just take the scraps, like the leftover bits of fabric from cutting out my pattern, and I'll just cut them up into smaller pieces and use that as stuffing. I didn't just want to like shove a huge wad of the leftover fabric into the fin because that would have been way too bulky, but cutting up into manageable thin strips, it just acted like stuffing would, and it was also very soft, so that's a bonus, and I just used fabric that otherwise would have been thrown out because it was just way too skinny to use it for anything. And yeah, so that's a little tip. If you are stuffing something and you don't have any actual stuffing, you can just use scrap bits of fabric and it gets the job done, and then you don't have as much waste either because, you know, fabric doesn't just decay easily when you throw it out. And so once it was stuffed, I sewed up the little hole, and I made sure that the space I left for stuffing was up at the top of the fin, because this will be concealed once I reinsert it into the slot of Ariel's base of the tail she has. So it didn't need to look super pretty. I just sewed it up sturdily so it wouldn't come open, but I did think about that ahead of time. I didn't want to have like the stitches on the outside where they were visible, and I did not stuff all the way up to the top either because I needed this to be kind of flat in order to fit up in that little small space, and if there was stuffing there it wouldn't have worked out. And once the fins were sewn and stuffed, I glued them into the base of her tail using hot glue because it adheres really quickly and it works well with fabric, because I figured if I tried to use something like a super glue, it would just be really messy and it might dry quickly, but it can be hard if there's weight to what you're gluing. And then I just used a pencil to really shove it up in there. So Ariel has her tail now, which is nice and plump, but not too big. I think it matches her really well, which is awesome because this was just fleece I had laying around, as I mentioned earlier. And I'm really glad because she's such a beautiful doll, and she was relatively inexpensive at the thrift store, like $3 and some odd cents. And now she's whole again. And this technique I've used before for one of my other Little Mermaid dolls. We have my Arista. If you've watched my Dolly Transformations Christmas Miracles, my Uncle Ray rescued her from the dump. She was in the compactor with a bunch of other dolls. And these are the fins I made her, which were actually one piece. So I think that there's some improvement in like the shape and fullness of Ariel's. So in this clip, I am making some earrings to go with an outfit of Tenny's I have. She's an American Girl, if you don't know. And I have these pom-poms that I got from Amazon, which I've been using a lot lately. And they have little hoops on the end of them. So I made a little strand that had these silver glittery balls with a few red seed beads around them, 2 on the top and 2 on the bottom. And I used an eye pin for this because I connected this strand of beads to the pom-pom, so the pom-pom would hang on the bottom. And then here I'm making another pair of earrings to go with Tenny's other outfit I got off eBay. And you can see I already had made a sample earring because I wasn't sure how this would look. And I decided just to put all of these on one strand, so I have a bunch of light blue beads to match the color of the shirt, and then a butterfly and a heart bead that I thought also complemented the outfit and added a little extra pizzazz without being too overwhelming. I didn't want to hang these as like separate charms because I didn't want the earrings being too long. I actually really like how they looked stacked. Sometimes putting stuff all on one head pin works, and sometimes splitting them up and connecting them with eye pins looks better. It kind of just depends on the project. And here I am making hair accessories to go with Tenny's outfits. So this is for her sparkling performance outfit. I wanted to do 2 resin roses that I used glitter in the mold, so I have red, and you can see I'm curing it because I only have one of each mold. And then this is the second one, which originally I made silver, but as you'll see in the finished product, I ended up switching over to black because I thought it worked better. The silver didn't really show up, it looked clear once it dried. And then in the little compartment I'm putting a few of these clay flowers because you'll see how I incorporate them into a hairpiece. I actually made 3 of these. And how I attach them to clips is I have the clip opened up over the silicone mat so that the resin won't fuse the clip closed, and then I line up the roses using the resin as a glue and cure them. So this is the bow I made. I cut a length of lace that I thought would be long enough to make a decent sized bow, but I'm not tying it like a bow because that kind of can make it look a little uneven and sit weird. So I pinched it, and then I used another piece of lace that I folded in half to tie the knot around it. I found this technique recently really works and makes it look a little bit more finished. So I tied it around and tied it really tight, and it makes this nice perfect looking bow, and I can slide a hair clip through it. And then here I'm hot gluing the little resin bubbles that I made with the clay flowers just to add a little extra something to this look. And if you're wondering where the clips came from, I have these left over for beauty school. They were for pin curls and roller sets. I have a bunch of them, and that's why I'm using them. I know they're a little bit bulky, but they're also metal, so they're really sturdy. So this is Tenny's earrings and hair clip that you saw me making. These go with her sparkling performance outfit, and this is actually supposed to come with a hair clip, but I do not have the hair clip. So these are made from resin, and originally I had a silver one, but it looked more white and translucent than silver, so I switched to black. I didn't have black glitter, but I did have like black sequin flakes that I got at a thrift store. I want to say last year. I use them all the time in my resin earrings. And then this is just red glitter that I got at Walmart in the same rose mold that I got at Michael's on sale. And then these are her earrings. These red pom-poms are amazing. They are also from Amazon Vine. These are such nice quality. They have like a solid base. They're not like all fluffy. The only shame is that they have gold hardware, and I would have used silver to go with like the silver parts of her outfit, but I had to kind of mix metals here. And I used little red seed beads to tie in some more red. So I think she just looks so fetching in this fancy ensemble. Okay, so these are the earrings I made to go with Tenny's picnic outfit. These little butterflies have light blue on them, which matches her fake denim shirt. And I also thought they fit the picnic vibe. And then the hearts, they just reminded me of this lace. I got those from a deconstructed piece of jewelry, if I'm not mistaken. I've had them for years. For her hair accessory, I made this lace bow, and it complements the lace on her shorts. There is a hat that's sold separately to go with this outfit, but I don't have it. And then you can see that there's little resin, I guess you could say bubbles, that I put polymer clay flowers from that I got at Michael's on sale like 3 years ago. And I thought that the little flowers, because they were white, they would go with the shorts, and they'd also add to like the springtime feel. And there is a hair clip stuck through the bow. In these next few clips, I'm making my American Girl Princess Tiana doll some earrings to go with her outfits, and here I'm assembling her name bracelet. All of my contemporary American girls, or like dolls like Tiana who I'll dress in contemporary outfits, plus a few historicals, have little name bracelets. And of course she needed earrings to go with her main green dress that she sold in. This was a little bit more complicated, that's why all this footage is sped up. I had these polymer clay flower charms that I got from the Michael's Kids section a long time ago, and I'm just sliding them through jump rings, and there's 2 jump rings that go through each flower, so it makes like a nice chain. I didn't have any audio for this because my sister was talking to me because we were working on some things together over the weekend that this was being filmed. So these are the earrings I made to go with Tiana's main dress. I was inspired by the necklace that was sold with her. These charms here, which are actually from the kids section at Michael's, actually all of them are. I bought these flowers a few years ago with a gift card. They're little polymer clay flowers. You do have to be careful when working with them because they can tear. And then these are newer ones I got more recently when I was buying actually this scrapbook paper that's in the background online because it wasn't available in person, and I decided to get free shipping, and I saw these. There's a huge bag of them. There's a lot of different colors. There's even different shades of green, and this one is like a perfect match. And these yellow flowers are kind of like an off-white goldeny shade that's a perfect match to her dress. And I wanted something that would be like fancy but not take away from the doll, because she already has like the updo and the tiara and the necklace. So that was my thought process there. And she's not wearing it right now, but I did make her a name bracelet, and I picked green crystals to complement this outfit, and it'll work well with her other outfits too. These earrings were made to go with her evening star dress, so they're pretty sleek and elegant. And these are the earrings I made to go with Tiana's evening star outfit. So again, these charms here were also from Michael's, that same pack. And there were several different shades of blue, and this one happened to match perfectly. And then I have these little like teardrop shaped pearls and clear crystals, which I wanted to use a teardrop shape because this blue gem here is a teardrop shape. And then I tried to match the crystals with the ones on her necklace. And like I said, I didn't want anything too bulky. I wanted to keep these relatively dainty, but I do really like making earrings, so I didn't just like want to have the one charm because that would have been too boring and tame for me. And this next pair with the butterflies were made to go with her work outfit. This was a really simple design because I just slid beads and butterfly charms on a head pin. They're like little butterflies. There's yellow and green ones, and I like the little like pink flecks in the center and the blue flecks. They remind me of the print on her shirt, and this is also what her little bracelet looks like on with this outfit. So cute. And I had this charm that I got at the flea market years ago. It has the Disney princesses on it, and one of them is Tiana. So I just took some pearl chain I had already that was from like the dollar section at Walmart, and I just looped through this cute little charm so Tiana can have a Disney princess necklace. And this was a necklace that I made. It's not meant to go with any of her specific outfits, but I got this charm at the flea market years ago, and I always was saving it for an American Girl, and she's a Disney princess and Tiana's on it, so what better doll to use it for? And it does have clasps. These next few bits are for an old American Girl of mine, my Girl of the Year Jess, who I've had since 2016. I decided to revamp her homemade accessories, and since butterflies were kind of a little part of her collection, I made her a resin hair clip with orange glitter and confetti. This mold came from a jelly resin kit for kids that I got on sale at Walmart like 3 years ago. It's really large, but it makes great hair clips. I have a similar one for Krissa. It's the same mold but in different colors. And after I cured it all the way, I just attached it to the hair clip, metal hair clips I had left over from cosmetology school using resin. I apologize that I don't have any footage of Jess wearing these because I forgot and I undressed her for Flickr retakes, but this is what the clip looks like all done. Her original hair accessory wasn't something I made, it was just a flower clip my sister brought home from like a kid's set, and my Josephina dolls ended up stealing it. And going with that butterfly theme, I'm using more of these polymer clay butterflies, same as on Yvette and McKenna's earrings and on Tiana's work dress earrings. I actually got more of these from Michael's when I placed that order that I mentioned earlier because I use them so much, and I thought that the orange ones were perfect, and I also used some polymer clay flowers. This is what the original pair of earrings I made for Jess looked like. They were made from air freshener charms. I didn't have a lot of jewelry supplies at the time, and they were just really big. So that's why I ended up switching to these with the butterflies and the flowers. They're just a lot more bright and colorful, which I think is more reflective of Jess's style, and I just wanted an excuse to make her stuff. These earrings are for another old outfit I have had since 2014. I got Girl of the Year Nikki's meat dress at the flea market many years ago, and I had a pair of earrings I made for it. But then those were taken when I got Leah's celebration dress when it was on sale, before I had Leah, years before I had Leah. And they just matched really well. My sister pointed it out, and since I was retaking some photos for my Girl of the Year album, I was like, I'm going to make a pair of earrings specifically for this dress so that if I do get Nikki or someone is wearing it, they have handmade earrings. This outfit looks great on stage. So I just drew inspiration from the tones of her outfit, which is pretty muted except the pops of blue. And these are the earrings I made to go with Nikki's meat dress. Obviously I have them modeled on stage because I don't have Nikki. This outfit has a lot of white because of this, like, it's actually a leotard, but it looks like a blouse. I decided to take inspiration from the skirt, and that's why I have like these brown tones, and I thought that like the wood looked very cowgirlish, and then I used pops of these blue polymer clay beads that I got at Walmart a long time ago. I used them for Courtney's earrings. They add a little pop of color, and then the flower, the wood flower, which is also from Walmart but from like a dollar baggie that I've had probably for like 10 years, and I use these all the time. I drew inspiration from the flower on her skirt. I didn't want to add any pink because I thought it would just be a little bit too much, and I think the more like muted tones feel a little more Western. I'm definitely not a seamstress by any means. I don't know anything about sewing, but one of the hacks that I've found really works for dolls that are missing skirts is to use pieces of lace, and then you can just sew snaps on them. They make really pretty, super easy skirts. You don't need any kind of sewing skills to do this. And I wanted to make this doll, who is a Sparkle Fairy from 2003. I got her in 2014 from a lot of moldy dolls on Memorial Day weekend, and I never had her skirt, and the one I had her wearing didn't really match, so I made her this one. And I like to attach little fabric flowers sometimes as extra embellishments. I think it really added a little bit of extra something to this tutu. And this is Fairytopia Barbie with her new skirt. I went with the triple layered lace because it provides a bit more coverage, but it did have solid blue that I could have used instead. But I think it looks a lot more fairy-like than a plain skirt would, and it matches her a lot better than the pink Sparkle Fairy skirt that she was borrowing. It really clashed with her blue skin tone because everything about this doll is blue: her makeup, her eyes, her hair, her skin. So I'm really glad she has this, and in the event I do find her original skirt, hey, I can use it for somebody else. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Dolly Designs. Feel free to check out my Dolly Designs playlist or my albums on Flickr, which feature different handmade things that I've created for my dolls over the years. And until next time, love your dolls, love yourself, and love your life.